Good afternoon and welcome to Investor Schooling Live. Coming to you from Investor Schooling headquarters, I'm Phil Falcone here with my business partner, Larry Steinhaus. We are the founders of Investor Schooling. Get ready to learn real estate investing, stock option investing, and just making more money. Who doesn't want to learn that? Call us anytime during the show with your questions at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137. That's right, we're a live program, so you can call us anytime during the show, and we will take your calls. Don't worry about what we're talking about, just call us. We love to take any of our listeners' calls. Investor Schooling is located in Langhorne, Pennsylvania, serving the Philadelphia area in a real brick-and-mortar building. We are local guys, accessible to our students a minimum of 2 nights per week. Learn this business, the business of real estate investing and stock option investing, from people who live it every day. So today's topics on the show, we're going to be talking about, I do business with the businesses that do business with my business. We're going to explain that statement. Join a mastermind meeting to achieve great success. It's an investment and I expect to get a return out of it. We're going to touch on these topics and a few others. We're going to be talking about the Money Multiplier event that we have coming soon. And I'm going to share with you a very simple plan how to get rich in a reasonable time frame. You're not going to want to miss that. One of the most important topics of all of our shows is the stock option sultan, who usually visits us in the last 10 minutes of the show. And he's going to give us his picks of the week. So if you're a stock market investor, an option investor, a covered call investor, you could take some of these picks and make money with them next week. So you don't want to miss that. We also have a couple questions that were emailed in to us. And at this point, let's talk to Larry. What's up, Larry?
What's going on, Mr. Phil Falcone? I'm so excited to be here today.
Why is that?
Well, because, I'm always excited to be here on a Sunday with you, sitting in the same room, getting to express our ideas and opinions to all those listeners out there. What do we have now on PHT? What do we have, 7 listeners now?
We have our show running 80 times a month, so I think there'd be more than 7 listeners.
Oh, okay. I guess it's moved up to 8 now. All right, I'm kidding, Phil. I'm kidding. I know we have a lot of great listeners. Matter of fact, last week's show, I have to tell you a funny story. Last week's show, when you were talking about when you finally, solved the Kennedy murder, all week long, I've been getting phone calls from people saying, "Hey, I'm so impressed that Phil was able to solve that murder." But this has been a really fun week, hasn't it? We had some really cool stuff going on. You and I saw a movie premiere yesterday with our good friend Ken MacArthur. He made a movie that was awesome, and we had
How many years did it take for somebody to solve the Kennedy assassination? 59, is it? 59 years?
Yeah, it took you 59 years to solve it?
59 years.
You're not even 59 years old.
I know, I'm 55. Isn't that amazing?
That's pretty good that you solved it in 59 years when you're not even 55 years old. So we saw that movie last night. That was a lot of fun, too, right? That was great. Then I got to tell you a really cool thing that happened to me this week. A publisher has bought my book. So my book that's coming out, my book called Money Hacks, the publisher, I went to contract with a publisher, and I'm pretty excited about that. That book will be coming out in the next probably about 2 to 3 months by the time he's all done with
publisher?
it. It's Morgan James Publishing, and it's a real publisher, whatever. And it's a lot of fun. I'm actually pretty excited about it. It's got some really good tips in it. And in fact, when that book comes out, we're going to have to do an official launch.
Okay.
But I also heard that you bought a car.
Yeah, I did buy a car. I bought a new car.
Now what's really, could we plug the guy who sold you the car?
Sure.
Go for it.
His name is Stone Falcone.
Stone Falcone?
Yes.
Who's Stone Falcone?
Of course, he's my son. And he is a car salesman at the Gateway Kia on 611. And he's been working there for a couple of months, and he's doing well.
That's pretty cool. So people, if anybody wants to buy a car, they can go there and buy a car.
Yeah.
Now, I remembered, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, you were afraid that somebody was going to break into your car? Or actually smash your car because you cut them off in the parking lot or something?
Your memory is a 2 on the Richter scale.
Well, that's certainly true.
So what happened was I made a left-hand turn in front of a truck, and I misjudged how fast the truck was coming down Street Road.
Oh, that's why you wanted to get in the car. But I'm talking about when you had the guy when you were Dunkin' Donuts and you were parked in the wrong spot.
Hey, you're talking about ancient history. What's that got to do with the car?
Oh no, I thought that's why you bought a car.
No, that's not why I bought
Oh,
it.
okay. You bought a car because you didn't want to get killed.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm weird like that.
So people who know Phil's car, actually, you've seen Phil's car. It's a red BMW Z4. It's got I Buy Houses on it. It's really really cool car. I'm like surprised that you're not going to be driving that car anymore.
You know, why would you be surprised?
I don't know. It just seemed it was always you. I've always seen you in videos in it, and every time that car went by, people thought it was you. I don't know. I just thought it was a cool thing.
Well, I wanted to sit up higher.
Right.
You know, I've been sitting like very low to the ground in a Z4. You're sitting very low to the ground. And I just got bored with it, okay? Like, cars are cool, but I like cars, but I'm not a car guy like you are.
I don't know if I'm a car guy. I just like to have cool cars.
Well, I like cars, and I like to have cool cars too. But at some point, I just said, you know something, I don't want to be sitting this low anymore.
Right.
So really, I had some very minor things that were important to me. I wanted to be sitting higher. I wanted to be in a car that had modern technology. And I kind of like the two-seater hatchback that a lot of people are driving today. If you look around, they're everywhere. Everybody's
It's true. I
driving
know. It's true.
a two-seater hatchback. And, you know, I'm playing tennis. I'm carrying around a lot. You need a lot of equipment for tennis, right? You need multiple rackets. You need tennis balls. You need a bag of ball. Like, I use this cage of balls, which I have to work on my serves and things like that. So you have to carry around a lot of equipment when you're a tennis player. Plus, change your clothes on hot days. You're sweating like crazy, you know. So all these things, I thought it would be cool to just put on my tennis stuff in the trunk of the car, in the hatch of the car, and have everything I need there all the time. So I wanted to change.
But you had the coolest car I've ever seen, man. It was cool.
And
It's a BMW. It was a Z4. It had I Buy Houses on it. I mean, I just can't believe that you gave that car up and you moved it. Did you keep that car?
It's parked out front.
You actually drove it here today?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Because you know, what do you are you did you trade? You're not going to trade it in, so you didn't trade it in or anything. You're keeping it.
No, I kind of had another idea I wanted to talk to you about.
What's that?
I was thinking, what if we gave away the car?
You want to give away your car? Why do you want to give away your car?
Well, I thought like I'd trade it for something.
So
How about like
a house?
How about like a really good real estate tip that makes me a bunch of money?
That could be pretty cool. I mean, that actually would be a really cool idea.
What if we did something outside the box? After all, we're outside the box kind of guys.
Right.
What if we gave away my beautiful convertible, where you push a button and the whole roof goes in the trunk? What if I gave away my beautiful convertible BMW Z4, and we gave it to somebody who achieved a certain level of goals? Let's say, number one, they got to give us a great real estate tip.
Okay.
Okay, we'll make a contest.
Is it something that we don't already know, or could it be something that we already know? And what do you think?
I think what I want to do is I want to get people to give us a great real estate tip
Okay.
or concept.
All right.
Okay, whether we know it, we've been in real estate for a long time together. It's probably not going to be too many tips that come out that we haven't heard of.
True.
But we let people go on and vote on those tips. And the person who has...
Can we do it as a video?
Yeah, sure. That's a good idea. Let's do it as a video.
All right.
Okay. And I think we could judge the tips on two things: the quality of the tip that the people give us, and then we have their friends go on and vote for the tips that they like the most. So random people can come onto a website and vote for the best tip. And the tip that gets the most votes, but also has the most credibility to it.
Okay.
Really good quality tip with a really solid chunk of voting on it.
And you would give your car away for this?
And I'll give my car away to the person who comes up with the best tip. And I get to be one of the decision makers, of course.
That's pretty awesome. I'll
do you
tell you
think?
what. I'm going to talk to the IT guys this week, and if you're really serious, I'll make it happen.
What's my name?
Phil Falcone.
Okay. If I say something,
That's pretty wild. Hey, listen.
It's by definition
All right, if
already done.
If you're listening to this show, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Obviously, this doesn't count to the contest, but call us with a real estate tip and call us and let us know if you think this is a good idea. Because, I kind of wanted to buy your car from you.
Well, I'm giving it away now, apparently. So.
I guess so. 855-939-1137. Give us a real estate tip and just call us and let us know that you think this is a good idea because I'm a little nervous about this idea.
Why would you be nervous about it?
I don't know. I don't know. It sounds like it could be pretty complicated for us to come up with a system to do this.
Well, that's why we have IT guys.
That's it. All right, there we go. Let's do it. All right, cool. All right, 855-939-1137, and tell us about how you would like to win Phil's car, because I think that's a really cool idea. And if you have any ideas on really good real estate tips. All right, what else are we talking about today, Phil?
Well, why don't we get into the first topic?
Let's
get right into it. I do business with the businesses that do business with my business. Okay.
Or that your son works at.
Well, right now we're not talking about my son. We're talking about, but my son works at Gateway Kia.
Well, that's why you did business there, because your son works there.
Okay, of course.
So you do business with businesses that hire your son. I get that.
Okay. Well, but my son doesn't do business with my business.
That's what I said. So you do business with businesses that do business with your business, or you do business with businesses that hire your son.
So when I wrote the book, Addicted to Real Estate, Why I Can't Stop and Why You Should Start, I came up with the phrase, I do business with the businesses that do business with my business. So understand I own an office building with 47 offices in it in Huntington Valley at 67 Buck Road, Huntington Valley. And I came up with this theory because I kept saying, why don't we try to spend whatever money we're spending with the people who are already in our business, people who are renting space from us. So the CPA in the building is now my CPA. The insurance guys in the building are my insurance guy. The limo guy drives me back and forth to the airport and wherever else I got to go. Making a habit of doing business with the businesses that do business with your business will eventually get you more business. What do you think of that, guys?
I totally agree with you.
That's it?
I mean, I don't even know what else to say, but yeah, I want to do business with people that do business with me. However, sometimes people who do business with me are not the right guy to do the thing I need, and I have some step out of that box. We have students actually who we hire to do construction work for us.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty awesome but it's not just the fact that they're students. It's not just the fact that they did business with us. They also happen to be very good. So when we have some construction people come to us and they become a student, look, we don't just say, "Hey, you just became a student. We're going to hire you." We give them a little job, then we give them a little bit bigger job, and then we give them a little bit bigger job. And sure enough, they turn out to be exactly what we want, and they turn out to be fantastic.
Well, I'm thinking about changing this phrase now. What if I say, I do business with the businesses that do business with my business that will get me more business?
Ooh. Wait a minute. Hold on. I really like that. That's a good one. I don't know, man. That's just so good.
The point is, do business with the people who you do business with.
Absolutely.
And help each other make money.
Are you really going to give your car away?
When Phil Falcone says he's going to give his car away, it's a done deal.
I'm just sitting here in awe that you're really going to do that.
Okay.
All right. So stay tuned, guys.
You'll get used to the idea eventually.
We're going to do this. Stay tuned, guys. We're definitely going to do this. By the way, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, and talk to me about why Phil should or shouldn't give his car away and what your real estate tip would be if you did it. So
I got a real estate tip.
What's that?
Buy low and sell high.
I like that one. That's actually much better than the one I tried in 2008.
Or a good real estate tip would be do the opposite of everything that Susie Orman and Dave, what's his name?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever they say, do the opposite of it. Save your money. Don't put all your eggs in the same basket.
Right, put all your eggs in the no basket. Is basically what. Anyway.
Yeah. What's the Dave's guy? Dave. What's his
Dave
name?
Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman.
We follow we follow his show on one of our stations, so don't say too many bad things about him.
Well, I'm just saying that their advice
might not be that great for a real estate investor.
Might not be good for somebody.
Well, yeah, he talks about getting out of debt, right? He talks about getting out of debt, getting out of debt, getting out of debt, getting out of debt. Well, I got to tell you something that, I want to get in as much debt as possible. And the difference between that debt and the debt that they're talking about is I don't want to be in debt for buying furniture. I want to be in debt for buying real estate. I mean, you took a major loan when you bought Executech Suites.
Major. I took half of my net worth and put it into one deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But you had a major loan. You had a $2 million loan, right?
But $2 million loan is correct.
Right.
Yes.
So could you imagine the James Ramsey followers going, "Oh my God, Phil Falcone got a $2 million loan"?
Yeah. Well, Dave has his niche.
Yes.
And I understand I was in Nashville earlier this year, and I understand from a guy who lives in the same neighborhood as Dave Ramsey that he's doing very well.
Oh, of course he's doing very well. And you know what? I guarantee you he has lots of debt. Now, I do have to defend him in one small way. There are a lot of people out there who are completely frustrated. They're scared of debt. They're having trouble sleeping at night, and he puts them on a path. He just doesn't take them to the next step. We take them to the next step. And there are times students come to us and we have to help them with that too, the steps that he takes, but no. I'm sorry. We're going to take you to the next step. Dave teaches mediocrity. We teach abundance. But anyway, it's just different philosophies. Not that it's a bad one, just a different philosophy. How we got on that topic, I'll never understand. But you sure you're going to give your car away? I just needed to change the topic there.
Pietro.
I needed to change the topic there.
Pietro, how can we stop him from asking me the same question over and over again? Is there any way we can do that, Pietro? It's a shame. It's a shame because I'd really like him to stop asking me.
All right.
Are you questioning my integrity?
No, now I'm gonna make sure you do it.
I already said I would.
Fine, then
on the radio.
Fine. Everyone, if Phil changes his mind at any time, I want you all to give Phil the biggest boo you could possibly give anyone. All right? That's all.
All right, next topic.
All right.
Join a mastermind meeting to achieve great success.
I like that idea.
Tell me what you think of it. Talk to me.
So I've joined many mastermind meetings. I've actually held mastermind meetings, created mastermind meetings many times. I am also a founding member of the Mastermind Association. I don't even know if you knew about this.
Yes, of course I know about it.
Oh, good. I'm a founding member of the Mastermind Association, and this was actually an association that created specific rules for masterminds.
You have talked about this numerous times.
I have? I don't remember.
Some of us have a memory.
Are you going to give your car away? So mastermind's a great thing. You sit down and you come up with an idea, and you start discussing it with people in the room, and they're going to add to your idea. They're going to come up with different issues on your idea. They're going to really work your way through it. Now, the true mastermind started. Napoleon Hill spoke about it, and it actually the concept is if you have 5, 6, 10 people sitting in a room, and they meet week after week after week, they not only start to help each other, but they actually start finishing each other's sentences in a way. Yeah, they start finishing each other's sentences in a way, which is kind of neat because they're actually in tune with each other. I actually had one mastermind that I created a concept that I was going to introduce to the mastermind that week, and somebody else introduced the identical concept. Isn't that cool?
Is he a mind reader?
No, I think it was masterminding, and that's basically what it was. Did somebody on Facebook really just say, "Are you really going to give away your car?"
No, that's Pietro.
That was Pedro.
It looks like we have a call up there, don't we?
No, we don't.
Okay.
No, that was from last week.
Right.
It'd be nice if somebody did call in 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, and give us your people on Facebook. Jeff goes, "Who's giving a car away? Are you giving a car away, Phil?"
Yes, I'm giving a car away. And if you keep asking me, I'm going to disqualify you from the contest. Right?
All right.
So let's get this straight. I've decided I'm giving my car away.
I'm pretty impressed. All right.
Right?
And by the way, if you want to find out more, well, I don't even know how to find out more. We'll find out more next week. We'll tell you how we're going to do it. But
Here's
of
what
course,
you're going to do. You're going to put the geeks on it, and the geeks are going to design a voting system.
yes,
And we're going to put the rules down on a
Yeah,
website. Which can we announce anything about that yet?
yeah, we can if we come up with. So what do you think? Like a video, 30 seconds,
Well, yeah, sure.
and no longer than 90 seconds. How's that? Just
Yeah,
so
that sounds good.
we don't make it too long.
How
All
long do
right,
you
so
think it would take to create a site
I
that
don't know,
would...
give me 2 or 3 days.
Okay, 2 or 3
I'll get
days.
the IT guys on it.
You're a pretty talented guy if you can do that in 2
I'm
or
not
3
doing
days.
it. I'm having the IT guys do it.
Yeah, but you have to deal with whatever problems come up.
I know. Yeah, that's true. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. So yeah, I figure we'll get it going. We'll definitely next week. We'll definitely announce. In fact, next week we have the Money Multiplier event, right? Mm-hmm. We will announce it then. How's that?
I believe we've already announced it.
No, I mean, but we'll announce how to enter the contest, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
okay, that's cool.
All right. So by
So
the way,
we'll announce it next...
why don't we talk about the Money Multiplier event real quick?
Why don't we? But,
Okay.
but just to clarify, so next Sunday on the air, we're going to announce the rules.
Well, we're going to announce it on Saturday at the Money Multiplier event, but we're going to reiterate it on Sunday
Okay.
for those people who don't
So
attend
for
the Money
people who
Multiplier.
listen to our show, listen next week, and we'll tell you what all the rules are.
Right.
We'll work it all out by Sunday. So let's talk about the Money Multiplier event.
Let's do it. Oh, you want me to talk about it?
Yeah,
I thought we were talking about it.
we are talking about it.
Okay. So,
But
we-
you understand how the show works, right? I write the script, I ask the questions, you answer the
but
questions.
it wasn't a question. It was
I
a statement.
comment on whatever it is you
It was a
say.
statement. You didn't say talk about the Money Multiplier event. You said let's talk about the Money Multiplier event.
Okay. Well, what if I said, talk about the Money Multiplier event?
Okay, I'll do that. So we do this thing about once a quarter. We do what's called the Money Multiplier, and we bring in special guest speakers who talk about money, and we have a really good time. It's a full day event, and it's $47 if you want to attend, but we'll give them a coupon, right?
Yeah, I believe you get a coupon code.
More money, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so more money. So you can actually we'll buy you lunch. We have a really nice catered lunch. And you come here, we have a catered lunch, you get to meet us if you haven't met us yet. And if you want to sign up for it, it's the number 4, mmw.com. So that's 4, moneymultiplierworkshop.com, but it's not, don't spill it out, it's 4, mmw.com, 4mmw.com. And you can go and you could sign up, and if you use the coupon more money, you get to go for free, which is kind of cool, and it'd be a lot of fun. And I promise you can learn something. And we're not even. And again, as we tell you all the time, when you show up for our events, we don't sell you anything. Just come, enjoy, get to know us, find out more, take pictures with us if you'd like, and you get to see Phil's card that we're going to be giving away.
Yeah, we're going to put it up on, like, pylons or something?
Well, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that.
Let's park it on the lawn. Let's park it up on the lawn, up on a hill somewhere.
And of course, if you want to come this Thursday to class, go to investorschooling.com. Boy, this is an odd show. We haven't given one. We need somebody calling with a real estate tip because we're not even talking about real estate. 855-939-1137. Somebody calling with a real estate tip.
Well, I
So-
want to talk about real estate.
You do?
Next topic's about real estate.
All right, well, let's do it.
So's the next one.
All right, 855-939-1137. You better call quick before the show's over, and you're going to wish you called.
Okay. So here's a statement. It's an investment, and I expect to get a return out of it.
So I listened to you say that before, and I didn't quite. It's an investment, and I expect to get a return out of it. So there's different kinds of returns on investment. Sometimes there's immediate cash-on-cash return. Sometimes there's long-term return. Sometimes there's tax advantage returns. I'm not quite sure which kind of return the person, I realize that you wrote that, but I'm not quite sure what somebody listening might want different kind of returns for different kind of investments. I like cash-on-cash returns. I like to buy a rental, and when I buy it, if I pay, for example, $100,000, if I make $200 a month, I feel that I'm doing quite well on $1,200 a year. If I make $200 a month, $1,200 a year immediately, or I'm making the $200 a month immediately, and I'm getting paid for it immediately. And as time goes by, the rent goes up, and my equity goes up, so I get a bunch of different returns on that.
That's a beautiful thing
I
about
think
real
that's
estate.
what you mean, right?
Yes, it's just a statement to prompt a conversation about the wonderful returns that you get from real estate.
There you go. Excellent.
And I think it's important to say to newbies in particular, it's an investment, and I expect to get a return out of it. You don't buy a piece of property for speculation reasons. You buy a piece of property with the understanding that you expect to get a return out of it in the form of cash flow, in the form of cash back at settlement when you buy it, or all of the many different ways that you can make money off of a piece of real estate. I don't particularly buy something just to make one of those categories. You often end up making multiple categories of money from owning a piece of real estate.
I totally agree, and
That's why it's my favorite investment.
and that's why we had talked about last week buying land, where we personally don't like buying land, just land. Now you were talking about
We
land.
don't, but it's warming up to me more and more.
Right, but you're talking about land and putting a mobile home park on it, which is very
Or
different.
putting some of these new modular
Right,
homes
correct,
on it.
right.
There's a lot of technology that's being developed today that's definitely got my interest, and it's making me think that now land may begin to make sense to me after 32 years.
And also, you're in a position, or we're both in a position where we can hold on to that land, make the payments on the land, and it wouldn't hurt us. Where a lot of newbie investors, they're buying a piece of land, they put $100,000 into a piece of land, that's all the money they have, they can't mortgage it, and they either borrow from their equity loan, and then all of a sudden they're paying an equity line of credit money, and this land sits there, they pay taxes on it, they cut the grass, it becomes nothing but an expense, and they end up selling it 2 years later for less than what they paid for it. That's the mistake a lot of people do make when they're buying land, and we want to make sure that they don't make that mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't buy a piece of land just to sit on it. Unless it was a vacant piece of land right next to a house I was living in and I wanted to expand my backyard. That would be a good reason to do it. That would be just making a bigger backyard, which is making your primary residence just more valuable because now you have more space, more backyard, side yard, whatever it turned out to be. But I'm also pretty interested in the future about, like we talked about Boxable 3-4 weeks ago. We talked about Boxable and what they're doing, and $50,000 homes that are all folded up. They deliver.
Yeah, that was cool.
Deliver it to a location, and if you could buy a piece of property that had the proper zoning, would allow you to roll those things in. They finance it for you at $250 a month. Like, hello,
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
take 20 of them right now.
I agree. I'd like to be on the waiting list for that as well.
Yeah, I am on the waiting list.
Oh, yeah, good.
I put my it's easy. Just go to their website and put your name on the waiting
That's
list.
great. Yeah. Okay.
And
cool.
they also have a fund I mentioned to you that they're raising money through a fund to help build their company at the same time. And I imagine that if you did lend them some of your money through the fund, you may get preferential treatment on deliveries.
Yeah, I don't want to go there because that's not our fund, and I don't want to have anything to do with it.
Okay.
I don't want to advertise it because I don't know what the rules in their thing is. Anyway, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. Hey, should we give Phil's car away? Somebody call us and say, hey, you think it's a good idea? You think it's a bad idea? What your real estate tip would be if you were going to enter the contest? I actually believe Phil is actually going to give this car away, so why don't you call and say, hey, what a great idea it is, at least. But meanwhile, we're going to run to a commercial, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Hi, Claire. I'm from InvestorSchooling.com. PM. I will teach you how to buy ugly houses and make them beautiful. As a bonus, we will also teach you stock option investing. So get your butt to this meeting, 7 p.m. this Thursday night, Langhorne, 215-876-3002, InvestorSchooling.com.
Hey everybody, it's Larry Sinus from InvestorSchooling.com. You heard my partner Phil Falcone tell you why you should be there this Thursday night to learn about real estate investing and learn about stock options trading. We're telling you right now, you will make more money than you've ever made in your entire life if you learn these two skills. Be there this Thursday night at 7 o'clock in our Langhorne headquarters. Go to InvestorSchooling.com. Pull over right now. Take out your phone and go to InvestorSchooling.com. RSVP right now. InvestorSchooling.com. See you Thursday.
Hi, I'm Phil Falcone from Executech Suites. We're an executive suite center in Huntington Valley on Buck Road, 67 Buck Road, Huntington Valley. I'm sure you've driven past it. We're right in between Street Road and County Line Road. We have 47 offices in the prestigious address of Huntington Valley. I have offices starting at $595 a month. You're probably wondering, Phil, what do I get for $595 a month? Let me tell you. You get an office big enough for one person. You get the furniture in that office. You get the telephone on the desk. You get the telephone numbers. You get the fax numbers. You get 2 full-time receptionists to answer the phone in the name of your company and patch the calls to you. So if your company's ABC Painting Company, hey, ABC Painting Company, how can I help you? Would you like to talk to Bob? Let me get him on the phone. You could be home sleeping on your couch and I'll patch the calls right to you. What else do we give you? We give you the conference rooms. We give you the kitchen. We give you the mailboxes, the printer, the copier, the scanner, UPS service, you name it. All of the utilities, cleaning service, and best of all, we give you free coffee. Get yourself to Executech Suites. Phone number is 215-942-7701. 215-942-7701. ExecutechSuites.com.
You're hot.
Welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. We are here in Investor Schooling headquarters, and we are in the Investor Schooling broadcast network downstairs in our headquarters. You got to come see it. If you ever come to class, we'll love to give you a tour and show you the studio that we transmit out of. By the way, go to investorschooling.com and you can find out investorschooling.com and you can find out more about how you can become a student here. And what do we have coming up now? Oh, you know what? Why don't we talk a little bit more about the Money Multiplier real quick?
Yeah, we didn't really tell people about
Yeah.
all the exciting things that we're going to be talking about there.
Yeah, besides the fact that we're going to announce how we're going to give away the car. I
That's
just
right.
keep saying that to you because I just want to see your face go, well, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Pietro, I think I'm getting close to violence.
All right. Phil is giving away his car. I'm convinced.
I said I'm going to give away my car. Stop
I'm
asking me.
convinced. You're giving away the car. Fine.
Right.
I like it. We will have the IT guys done with it this week. Let's go
Would
back
I
to the Money
have you
Multiplier.
spend money on the IT geeks if we weren't going to give away
All right,
the car?
Fine. Give away the car. It's a BMW, red BMW, convertible,
Yeah, you push
Z4.
you push a button, the trunk opens in reverse. Not the normal way a trunk opens. It opens up towards the front of the car. And then the trunk folds up right into the trunk.
So you're going to give it away.
The roof folds up
Done.
right into
Fine.
the trunk.
You're giving it away. This is going to be awesome. I can't wait to see somebody else driving it. So I'm going to have to see your gray hair going by in it. That's fine.
Well, you got something against my long gray hair?
No, I wish mine was long. It didn't matter if it
Well,
was
why don't
gray.
you just grow it out?
Because I tried, and the only thing I can do now is wear a hat.
I understand.
All right, getting back to the Money Multiplier. So what we discussed in Money Multiplier is kind of cool. We talk about a lot of cool concepts. One of the guys who's going to be coming is Brent Kessler. He talks about being your own bank, which is a really neat concept. I know I've done a couple of these, and we have a couple of people in the office who've done a couple of these, where we create funds that you can be your own bank and borrow your own money, which is really, really neat. And we've been doing this. It's working really neat. That's one thing. We also have guys coming from Camaplan who are going to talk about how to create self-directed IRAs and IRAs. And by the way, just so you know, no one is going to be selling you anything. We don't do that. We don't even allow speakers to come here. They're not allowed to sell anything. If you want to talk to them afterwards, that's fine. But we don't allow people to sell anything. So just understand it's not a sales pitch. It's not a sales fest. It's nothing. It's just an informative seminar. We also have guys coming in to talk about other things as well. I think we have an accountant coming in as well. We'll be doing that. And my personal trainer, who pretty soon he's not going to want to come anymore because I put on some more weight. But
You put on weight?
I put on weight,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put on like 15
Well, that's
pounds.
obviously his fault.
No, I know, but I don't. I think he's going to be embarrassed that he comes and goes, "Look at Larry." Well, he used to say, "Look at Larry." Now he's going to say, "Please don't look at Larry." So if you want to go to Money Multiplier, go to number4mmw.com, number4mmw.com. Use the coupon code More Money. By the way, there's no space in
Right.
there. More Money, and you can come for free.
And what's the date?
It's actually next Saturday. It starts at 8 o'clock, and it goes to around 5-ish, 5, 6. And we also give stuff away, too. We give away silver bars, and we give away a dinner with us, too. So we give a dinner with us at Capitol Grill, which is kind of cool. So it's going to be a fun time, and if you want to come, number4mmw.com, number4mmw.com. What's the next topic, Phil?
Well, hold it. There's a couple other things I want to say about the Money Multiplier.
Well, you always leave it to me to talk, so I figured we were done.
No, I want you to just open up the conversation,
All
and then I spend the second half correcting you. Okay, so what we're also going to be doing is we're going to be talking about real estate investing.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that too.
I plan on doing a lengthy presentation on real estate investing, and I promise you it'll be funny, exciting, and you're going to learn something about real estate for free. So come on out. If you're interested in learning about stock options, I can 100% promise you that Larry is going to do a presentation on stock options, and you're going to learn something about that. And what else are we going to do? I mean, we talk about money. We talk about financial literacy. We talk about things that are important about money, things that you need to know. And over time, if you spend some time at Investor Schooling, I believe that we will provide you with an enormous amount of education that you probably won't hear in other places. Larry and I have been doing this business of real estate investing and stock options for a long time. And what we have to share with you is cutting-edge stuff that you can use in your real estate portfolio to build wealth.
Yes, you will definitely make a lot more money than you made before if you didn't know these skills before and after we teach you these skills. By the way, 855-939-1137 is the calling number, 855-939-1137. Call me up with your real estate tip. I'm curious to see what real estate tip you would be giving if you entered the contest to win Phil's car. Now, there will be a contest because Phil has no choice now because you announced it on the radio. But I want to know if you're going to enter the contest. 855-939-1137. It's a really nice car, too. The BMW Z4. Pretty cool.
Why don't we talk about... I wanted to discuss a simple plan to get rich in a reasonable time frame.
So I don't know if there's such a thing as a simple plan to get rich in a reasonable amount of time. I mean, by the way, that's a very vague statement. What do you call a reasonable amount of time?
Whatever I consider a reasonable amount of time.
Right. So to me, a reasonable amount of time is the amount of time it takes. So maybe it's 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know what, and then you can't quantify. You got to quantify rich. So it's a really vague statement.
Good. I like vague because I don't like to be cornered on anything I say.
I'm cornering you on giving away your car.
Pietro.
He wants you to mute my microphone now.
Okay. So one of the things that I think is the simplest way to get rich in the real estate business in a reasonable amount of time is the following. Learn how to buy houses if you don't know how. You need to go somewhere like Investor Schooling that's going to teach you how to buy houses, how to raise money, how to understand all the different aspects of real estate that you need to understand if you're going to transform yourself into a real estate investor, a professional real estate investor over time. Right? The way that I recommend you do it is you start out buying inexpensive small houses. You learn how to do it. You start with smaller houses. This way, if you make a mistake, and I mean smaller, the house doesn't have to be small, but the price of the house has to be small, okay? Because you don't want to take on too much of a gamble in the beginning. You need to learn how to do what you're going to learn how to do. And you acquire house after house after house. I think it's a reasonable goal to buy one house a year or possibly more like a house a quarter. So as you get more and more comfortable buying houses, you should be able to buy one a quarter. And that's something that we could help you with and teach you how to do it. Over time, if you bought a house a quarter for a number of years, pretty soon you'd have 10 houses. And a funny thing happens over time. Those 10 houses, you're paying down principal, your equity is going up, the value of the house is going up. And before you know it, you've got yourself a little nest egg of equity in your portfolio. If you bought anything major, if any time during that stage you started buying up, so maybe you're buying a $200,000 house in the beginning and then you keep scaling it up and then maybe you even buy yourself a commercial piece of real estate. And I know that that's possible because I did it myself. I bought a $2.1 million building with $10,000 in the bank. And if you come to Investor Schooling, you'll probably hear that presentation from time to time. And then what you can do is, let's just say you've amassed over a period of, say, 7 years, you have amassed $500,000 in equity in your little portfolio. You could then take that portfolio, sell off every building in that portfolio, and take that $500,000 out of the current properties you have. It doesn't matter if you had 8 properties or 6 or 11, however it worked out. Your $500,000 goes into a 1031 exchange attorney's escrow account. And that money, now you have $500,000 sitting in an escrow account, in a 1031 exchange attorney's account, which you can now go use as a down payment on a building. So let's just say you found a $5 million building to buy. Your $500,000 is a 10% down payment on that building. And that is the way you can have a simple plan to get rich in a reasonable amount of time.
I like it. I like it a lot. And I will tell you, a lot of stuff I bought 5 years ago, it's amazing. I mean, I have one property that I bought subject to that I paid, I don't know, a couple of grand out of my pocket.
The one we looked at last week was a pretty great return.
Oh yeah, that's right. The one you took a ride with me to Lehigh County.
Yes,
where I
that's
have
right.
a bunch of stuff in Lehigh County, and I just happened to be Phil and I needed to take a ride. We were going to talk while I was looking at one of my properties. I had my contractor there just renovating it because I've owned it for a while. I needed renovations, and you're right. I paid $38,000 for it. It's worth like $110,000, $120,000, and I don't owe much on it anymore.
And what did you do besides fix up the place a couple of times in between tenants?
Nothing.
What did you do to take something and have it multiply itself how many times over?
Probably 3.
Yeah, 3 times.
Yeah.
It multiplied itself 3 times.
In 5 years.
You
Or 6
tripled
years.
the value of a house, okay, in a 6-year period.
Right.
Pretty awesome returns.
And all I did was sit on it, and guess who paid the interest, and guess who paid the mortgage
Let me
payment?
think about that. Could it have been your tenants?
It was the tenants. So this is how you buy properties. I mean, I've got another one that I bought. It was a subject to property. I paid a couple of grand out of my pocket, and now I owe on that property. I owe less than $10,000 on that property, and that property's worth $160,000.
So you've been paying it off with some of your victories?
Yeah, so I do that too. By the way, that's a really good point you just made. What he just said, this is something we talk about in class. So when we make money in stock options, we often tell our students to take chunks of that money that they made and either pay off debt or buy something if you don't want to pay off debt, if you don't have any debt to pay off, if your house is paid off, fine. But if your house isn't paid off or you have some other rental properties, we tell you to take chunks of your stock options money and pay down debt. By the way, it's a much better way than Dave Ramsey tells you to do it.
Yeah.
Getting back to that.
It's a wonderful advice.
Right.
Some of our students do it.
And some don't.
Some of them don't listen.
And then they come to me and they go, I was up $150,000 and now I'm only up $25,000. I said, see, if you would have listened to me, you would have taken the $100,000 of the $150,000 you were up and paid down your mortgage or paid down this or and they made one bad trade and then they're crying. But it happens with then they get their money back and that's fine. But now they learn. They learn the hard way.
There's certain people who need to not listen and realize they made a mistake not listening, and then listen.
Right.
And now they'll listen for the rest of their life.
Right, because look, stock options. Let's just be honest. Stock options are risky. We have a method that we teach that mitigates the risk. That doesn't mean it goes to zero, and that's absolute. It never goes to zero. It's just you can make a bad trade. I know I made 3 really bad trades this year, which is unusual, but they're really bad trades, and it is what it is. But I just keep going and I keep going and I keep going and I take out my big chunks whenever I do a really good trade. I take out a chunk of money and I put it somewhere else. That way I always have money, and that way I never have to worry about anything. So yeah. So to answer your question is yes, I've been paying chunks on this unit for about 5 or 6 years. I've been paying chunks down. I owe less than $10,000. I expect to pay it off next month, which is really nice because the minimum payment on that thing is $1,200 for the mortgage. Now that goes to zero. That's $1,200 more a month that I'm going to be making now. Even if you put in a little, maybe even $250 for taxes and insurance that the mortgage company's paying for me, I'm still ahead of $1,000 a month now. I just got a $1,000 a month raise because I did that. So yeah, I agree with you.
So why don't we take a minute and answer one of these questions?
All right.
I'll give you. There's 2 questions that were emailed in to us. By the way, if you don't want to call us, but you want to email us questions, info@investorschooling.com, info@investorschooling.com.
Right, and if you have the question, is Phil really going to give his car away?
That's not a question that we'll be interested in getting. All right. So what formula do you guys use for wholesale deals? That's one of the questions that came in this week.
That's a great question.
And the other question came in is, do you teach other topics or just stocks and real estate?
Well, actually, I want to go to the second question because
Okay,
I
go
think
ahead.
that's really important that people understand that. So, I listen, everybody who's listening to this right now, I want to let you know that we fool you, we cheat you, and this is how we fool you and cheat you. We tell you that we're going to be teaching you about real estate and stock options, and guess what? We do. But we teach you so many other things that we don't tell you we're going to teach you that we're just not being fair to you. We're going to teach you ways to leverage your IRA. We're going to teach you how to move your IRA to become a self-directed IRA so you can decide where your money goes, not these brokers who can't sell you anything, who can only sell you certain products. We're going to teach you how to leverage your life insurance money that you have. If you have a whole life insurance policy, how to use that and make more money on it than you were making before. We're going to teach you how to save money in taxes. We've shown people incredible ways to save money in taxes. If you own a business, we're going to teach you how to make your business stronger and even better than it was before. If you have a small business, believe it or not, we're going to teach you how to use things like Obamacare to actually make more money. We're also going to teach you things like this year we had the EIDL loans. Remember the EIDL loans?
Yes.
Where we taught our students how to get the EIDL loans, how to get PPP loans. Now, they had to have a legitimate business, and they did, but we taught them how to do that. They didn't even know they existed. We had students in our class who didn't even know the EIDL loan existed, and we got them a $150,000 loan from the government to help them with their business while COVID was destroying their business, or government overreach, I should say, was destroying their business.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Like, back when COVID hit, there was all this opportunity. And I know so many other friends of mine who run businesses, and way after the fact, like a year later, they're saying, "Hey, how do you get an SBA loan?" I'm like, "You're late to the
late,
party,
yeah.
man. You are late to the party. You're really late to the party.
Right.
The cake has been eaten. The song has been sung. You missed it."
Yep,
You know?
exactly.
And
exactly.
one of the beauties about attending a school on a regular basis where we talk about money all the time is those things don't get missed here.
You know something else we're going to teach them?
What's that?
How you could become so rich that you could give away your BMW Z4 and not care.
Well, life is good, Larry.
It is, and you're right. It is. Financially, it is absolutely fantastic, and even personally, it's damn good. I just wish I can go on a cruise again. That's the only thing that I'm missing right now. If I can go back to going on a cruise, my life is back to normal.
Well, I think that's going to happen soon.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen too.
I certainly hope so.
In fact, that brings us to something I wanted to talk about, which I guess, should we introduce the stock option consultant now, or should we talk about that in a couple? You know what? Real quick, anybody out there, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. We've been saying if you have a real estate tip, give us a call. But you can call about anything you want, 855-939-1137. And what do you think, man? Should we talk about what's going on with the stock option consultant?
Sure.
All right.
Stock option sorting. Stock option sorting.
All right. So you love that, don't you? So today we talked about a couple of things real quick. I just want to go back. So we talked about that we're actually giving Phil's car away, which is interesting. But we also talked about the fact that my book got bought, which is kind of cool. So my book's going to be coming out in a couple of months. And we also have something else that's kind of cool, which is the aftermarket wrap-up show that I've been doing that we started this week. So if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can. It's not on the radio yet, but if you're on Facebook or YouTube, we have a market wrap-up show that you can go to. I think you can go to the Investor Schooling YouTube channel if you want to watch it, and I talk about stocks and what's going on in the market. So if you want to do that too, that's kind of neat. But let's go to this real quick. So guess what happened to Royal Caribbean? You're not going to believe this, and we just talked about it. So Royal Caribbean had a cruise, and it's a cruise to nowhere, pretty much nowhere. And sure enough, 6 people on the cruise got the Delta variant.
Oh, my God. I heard the Delta variant is
no.
killing people like crazy.
I know.
I heard that the statistic was 0.00001% chance,
know.
which is actually better than getting hit by lightning.
Oh, yeah, right. That's exactly. I mean, so 6 COVID cases on the ship. Oh, yeah, oh my God. Could you imagine that? I mean, I don't even understand how the fact that anyone could ever have gone on a cruise ever in their entire life and possibly had a cold.
Can you believe it, Larry, that out of, 3,000 people, 6 of them had a flu?
Yeah, right. And that's 3,000. That's just the guests. That's not even the staff. There's usually 1,500 staff too. So imagine that 6 of them had a flu or a cold or whatever that COVID BS is. Hey, guess what? We got a caller.
Well, let's talk to them.
Let's talk to Peter. What do you got? What's going on, Peter?
Hey, how are you? I'm just listening to the show, and I had a question about the advice, the leveraging advice that you guys were offering in terms of cashing out 1031 exchange and then rolling that into a property of higher value.
Yep.
Part of the earlier segment. Now, the question is, would you advise that if you had multiple properties? I have multiple rentals where the rental income is excellent because the majority of the properties are owned outright.
Oh, so you absolutely will have an incredible tax problem if you don't do this correctly. One of the really coolest things you can do. I'm sorry?
Mm-hmm.
One of the really cool things you can do is you can roll all these properties into one property,
Yes.
and maybe it's an apartment complex, and you want to just keep that. That's fine, or a building like Phil's Executive Suite Center. You could do something like that. But let's say you eventually want to roll it into your principal residence and not pay taxes on this. Now, this is something that I really have a feeling eventually it's going to go away. But hey, it's still there. So if you roll all this money into a property, let's say down in Florida on the beach, and you rent it out for 3 of 5 years, and you live there for 2, it becomes your principal residence.
Well, that's what he has to do with the existing portfolio that he has. But I imagine if he's paid them off, he's already done that. So he could take.
Problem. Go ahead.
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
The issue is the capital gain.
Right.
The properties are rent. They produce a nice amount of rental income monthly, but there's a certain amount of maintenance and then the liability is there, of course. Where the question becomes, a man of a certain age like myself, and I'm looking at getting out at some point. The question is, how do you get out from under that? Whether you're how you had mentioned earlier, where you are 1031, you're selling the entire portfolio, 1031 exchanging, and putting them into one other property, which to me is a great idea. It simplifies the whole sort of production. But
So Peter, we only have a couple minutes, but real quick. So here's that's one way. Another way, believe it or not, is do it with seller financing, so you don't pay taxes on it right away. But I'm gonna make a recommendation to you, and I mean this. Come next week, come to the Money Multiplier event. It's if you go to www.mmw.com, we're going to have a guy there, Carl Fisher, who owns Camaplan. He will tell you how to do this and how to do it and make it really work for you. So mmw.com. Yeah. Sign up there, and we will see you next week. Remind us who you are, because we'd love to shake your hand and do that.
Okay, great.
All right, thanks, Peter. We appreciate the call.
All right, well, thank you.
And keep listening, because here comes the stock tips. All right. So Royal Caribbean dropped 3 points on Friday because of this, because of the COVID cases.
Because of 6 people.
Because of 6 people getting COVID, and the real issue is, they're making everybody take COVID tests, multiple times during the cruise, which is really stupid. So how can anybody enjoy the cruise?
You mean they're making the guests
take COVID tests,
multiple COVID tests?
Yes. Yeah. How do you enjoy your cruise? So anyway, that's why I won't go on a cruise.
So someone sticks a giant Q-tip up your nose.
Exactly.
That pokes you in the eyeball.
Yep. And you say, "Hey, enjoy your cruise. Hey, enjoy your cruise." So they stick it to you and they say, "Enjoy your cruise." Anyway, so that made Royal Caribbean drop. That also brought down CCL, and it also happened to bring down AAL. So I'm gonna tell you, AAL right now is my absolute favorite play at $20. It's right now at $20.39, and I added to it on Friday. I'm going to add to it again if it drops below 20, and I will say that it's a little bit longer term than I would tell you. I tell you to take this out to January, February, because by then this nonsense will go away, and AAL will start trading again. Also, same thing with CCL. I actually like the CCL play better than the RCL play because the CCL play has more chance of doubling than the RCL play does at this point. So most likely CCL will go to 40 from about 21, which it is now. Where RCL is 75, it probably won't go to 150. It'll probably go to 100. So I like the CCL play as a much better play. By the way, I don't know if you knew this, but GE is about to do a 1-for-8 reverse split. Now, this is very smart on GE's part because it's going to make the stock more expensive. It's going to be 8 times the price. So whatever the price is right now, it's just under 13. It'll be 8 times as expensive. But I also believe that it's going to also drop the stock. So if you like to play puts or if you like to short sell, GE is an absolute going to go down stock play. And I'm going to say that it's going to end up somewhere in the 60s. Remember, it's at 13 now times 8. It's going to end up somewhere in the 60s within the next 3 months. And that's where it's going to settle and it maybe even rise back. So I'm going to watch that. And if you want to write that down as a prediction, somebody, that I think GE will end up in the 60s in the next 3 to 4 months, that's where I think it's going to be. If you play that out. Facebook, I'm in Facebook jail again because I called out a scammer, believe it or not. I called out a scammer and they put me in Facebook jail. But that's fine. If this guy wants to rip people off, they can. And it's okay if Facebook believes that, I was bullying them when I said that they're a scammer. Anyway, so Facebook right now is at 356. I'd like to see it 330s. Before I play it. If it goes any higher, if it stays in this range and goes up, I'm done with Facebook. I just can't be there anymore. It's too expensive of a stock, and frankly, now I can actually feel better about being a patriot and not investing in Facebook anymore. Although Facebook made me a lot of money throughout the years, so it's great to know that they made me a lot of money. But at the same time, I don't need to make money off of their let's see if I can say this correctly. Their bull.
Well, one thing that's concerning me, Larry, and I'd like your opinion on this, is the salesman-in-chief in the White House,
right,
who has been pushing vaccines, the vaccine that's not actually a vaccine.
Well, I you're not a doctor, so I'm not going to take that advice from you at the moment.
Okay, what's concerning me is as long as that is the narrative,
right,
coming from the White House, people will continue to be scared. They obviously are scaring a lot of people. Okay? So that's the only thing I'm worried about.
All right. We're done, Phil. What do you got?
I just want to say that we are almost done. And if you're interested in becoming a sponsor of this show, contact us at info@investorschooling.com, info@investorschooling.com. Or you can call us at 855-939-1137, even though that's the number we're using on the radio show. You can call us anytime during the week at 855-939-1137. We out of here.
And you give your car away.
Yes.
This program is a
Clear.
Thanks, John.
Since the views of WP